Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your fucking clout. If you're raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. 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 It's showtime.
Welcome to Friday Night Lights. I'm your host, Mikey, and as always, riding me shotgun, my boy Tommy. What's going on, brother?
What is going on, Mikey? Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday, Bills Mafia. We are finally here. Friday Night Lights, man.
Love Fridays.
The greatest show on Friday night. So welcome.
Love Fridays.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk a little bit around the league stuff, Tommy. There's stuff happening out there. Javon Clowney spurns the Jets and signs with the Panthers. What did you
Clowney taking money. Clowney taking money from another team.
He went home too.
Listen,
he the Jets brought him in and they were gonna give him, I guess the money was close to what the Panthers offered, but he decided to go with the Panthers, went home.
It is what it is. I mean, if that's where he wants to be, but I'm not. Listen, I think Clowney's coming out of college. He was obviously one of those exceptional, it's just a guy that you would want on your team, but he has been taking money from teams ever since he's been drafted. He just can't stay healthy. He's not consistent enough. When he's healthy, when he's consistent, he's great, but you don't get a lot of that. I feel like Chase Young's going to be just like him. Like, you're going to see Chase Young follow that suit, in my opinion. I just feel like they're really alike. And I feel like Chase Young is going to be a journeyman because really that's what he's turning into. He's a guy that's just going around taking bags. He's giving you, I don't think he's playing to what his contracts. I think he's a good player. I just don't think he lives up to his contract, if that makes any sense. Yeah. I wouldn't feel comfortable with the Bills ever giving Clowney a contract like that.
10, 12, $13 million a year.
No.
Like that's what Chase Young got. It's $13 million.
I can't do it. I mean, you got to look at the guy's past. I mean, what has he done to every team he's been? It's been just he's up and down. You don't know what Clowney again.
College than they were.
Absolutely. I'll take my gamble there, and it's not really a gamble. You draft it, and if you don't work out, at least you're not losing out millions, and you gotta, you know what I mean? Then you got to clear the cap, and you're back in this hole. So no, I mean, good for him. He's going, hey, it is what it is. But no, he's going to continue stealing money from teams like that. I more power to him. But that's Brandon Beane stays clear. I'm glad he stays clear from that.
Mm-hmm. So the Jets, since they got spurned, decided to make a trade today, and they made a move for Eagles pass rusher Hassan Reddick. Yep. What's your thoughts there?
I think they're going to be in salary cap nightmare very soon. Yeah, and they better get it done. And they're not. They're the Jets. Like, I hate to say it, like not that we're the Buffalo Bills are this winning championship team because we haven't done shit either. But at least we're in the playoffs. At least we know we're good enough to win the division, make the playoffs. It's the playoffs where for the Jets, they can't even fucking get into the playoffs, and they're just gonna overpay for players. It's trying to do what we've been doing, and they're gonna continue to fail. It's the Jets' way. It's kind of like the Browns. The Browns have been same old Browns, right? Same old Jets, and I feel like, man, they're gonna wind up, really putting themselves in a hole by doing what they're doing now. But it is what it is. If it works, great. But I think they're trying to. I think they're going with the Rams right now, like with the model. Yeah, and it doesn't always work out like that. I think the Rams kind of not got lucky, but I felt like they got Stafford's
they
really
got hot. They got
that's
hot.
what I mean. They got hot, and they got Stafford's really like best year left in his career, in my opinion, was that year. Like that, what he had left. He's still a good player. Don't get me wrong. He's still a solid player, but I think that year was just, you know what I mean? And they were hot at the right time. Defense got hot, right? They picked up some pieces that helped them along the way. But yeah, I think the Jets are the Jets, and they're also coming back with Aaron Rodgers, who once again, we don't know. What is Aaron Rodgers going to make it through a season? Right. So we'll see. We'll see what happens over in New York.
Weston, our resident Chiefs fan, that's always here. We appreciate you. He says what we're saying about the Raiders and the Chargers is the Chiefs and applies to the Jets. The Jets are going to jet.
Absolutely.
Just,
who trusts the Jets? Jets fans can't trust the Jets.
I mean, on paper, they look really good. Like they did a lot of work. They rebuilt that offensive line.
Sure.
Granted, they're all guys coming off of injury, but they rebuilt it. If they can stay healthy, they can be really good. But we'll see if they can stay healthy.
And I don't even know if I trust their coach either. I'll be honest. I like him, but I think maybe it's one of those things where it's like it's like a Sean McDermott thing. Like maybe he's just better at being a coordinator rather than a head coach, a leader. We'll see, but you can already see the writing on the wall when it comes to their head coach.
There was a report that the owner and the coach were arguing at the owners' meetings. Ooh, then the owner came out and said that the NFL Network's full of shit and needs to shut up.
Very possible. Very possible. Very possible.
Well, we know the NFL Network falls for shit all the time.
Absolutely.
Like they did with Dion.
Yeah. I just know what I've seen from that team. They have not, since he's become head coach. Now, mind you, it's been a rocky start. He inherited Zach Wilson, right? I believe he inherited him. I don't think was he there when they drafted him?
No, he was there when they drafted him.
Was he? Oh man, so
I think so. Now the GM wasn't. I think the GM came the year after.
The year after is when they started loading up on the defense. No.
When did Douglas get there? Douglas, I can't see Douglas keeping his job with that Zach Wilson.
He might have. He might have drafted Zach.
I can't remember. Saleh didn't look happy in the coach's photo. Saleh never looks happy. But you know what? Look at every one of Aaron Rodgers' head coaches before. They never looked happy either.
Oh yeah. And Aaron Rodgers is gonna make it even worse. This is I told you when Rodgers went there. This is no Green Bay. Like he's not gonna have the Packer Nation behind his having his back. Media is brutal in New York, and I things don't go right, especially this year, Mikey. If Aaron Rodgers comes back. Let's say he gets hurt again, or underperforms.
I think they're cleaning house. I think Douglas is gone. I think Saleh and the coaching staff. I think they start over.
They would. I think they would have to at that point.
Weston comes in and says Zach Wilson is probably one of the worst quarterbacks drafted in recent. The only one I can think of the worst in the recent years is Rosen.
Yeah, Rosen.
That's about the only one.
Darnold. Darnold's
at least Darnold's still in the league, bouncing around.
No, he's still in the league. You're right. Rosen's totally out. You're right. And Zach Wilson's still in the league, though, right? To be fair.
Yeah.
So
I guess if he would have been with the Arizona Cardinals, they would have just given up on him, like the Cardinals gave up on Rosen after 1 year.
Yeah.
But I had a question for Weston. So he was talking about the Snead trade going through. That just free up like $19 million for the Chiefs. Are they going to use that money to go get someone, or are they going to use that money to give Travis Kelce a raise finally? Because Mahomes got a raise last year. Jones got his raise this year. Are they going to finally give Travis some money?
Right. I think I think it depends on how much longer Kelce wants to stay in the league for, right? Like what's he wants to retire a Chief. Okay. 2 more years is where he's, and he's out, I'm sure he has something because he's already won 3 Super Bowls. Like,
yeah,
his brother just retired as well. I know, so these players are getting out early now and not a lot of players are sticking around like they used to. So I'm sure he wants to retire a Chief.
But
you're right. Maybe he will
business outside.
Absolutely. So maybe you're right. Maybe they pay him, give him a couple year extension. He stays, run it back. But who knows? You're right though. Maybe he gets one more bag, couple years, 2-3 years, and
or just off. Or they just give him a raise.
Or they give him a raise. Yeah, they could. You're right. Absolutely.
Can keep the guy healthy.
But either way, even if they don't, they still have that money in their pocket.
Kelsey's gonna be 35 this season, so
exactly. Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like who knows how long
the dude's still uncoverable. You can't cover that guy because he doesn't run the route. That's he just runs and finds open grass. They talk about it all the time.
Yep.
I don't know. I think they might go get somebody, but it's hard to say what position. Yeah, they haven't signed Dana back yet. That they might use the money to extend Creed, Bolton, and Trey Smith. See, that's where they should use that money, is to secure that interior line. That's been so good for the Chiefs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think they can get out of Taylor after this year or next year. I can't remember which one. But man, then keep drafting tackles and keep Patrick upright and
protect your man back there, man.
You're half $1 billion man.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. I wish they did that for Josh early on. Right. Honestly. They're doing it now. They're doing it now, but I felt like they could have started a little bit earlier. Right?
Yeah.
Right? Instead of addressing it so late. But it's like, oh, wait a minute. We actually need an offensive line here. Yeah. Josh just can't run around and figure it out. What the fuck, dude?
Oh yeah. Nothing does leak out of Arrowhead. The way that's a very good front office. They know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
And they have even before, with your old GM, he was really good too. So it's just a tightly run ship because it's the way Andy Reid operates. It's an Andy Reid led, program.
Yeah.
And he did the same thing with the Eagles. You never heard nothing out of the Eagles when he ran it there either. So the Dolphins added another year to Mostert's deal. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. That's smart. He's been a good player for them. He's been a good running back. He actually revived his career, I think, going to Miami. So I think it's a smart deal. I think he's like I said, man. I think he's done really, really well with the Dolphins. I think he's a good fit in that scheme with their running there. Plus, they have that rookie running back. Like they're good. That's a great 1-2 punch with them too. In Miami.
Yeah, with A-Chain and Mostert.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, absolutely. So
they're both fast as hell too.
Right. And I'll tell you what, if one gets hurt, you're not really losing anything. You still got the speed and Mostert or A-Chain. So it's like one goes out, okay. You know what I mean? Like James Cook goes out, for instance. We're in trouble right now unless we draft a running back, get somebody in here. I like Ty Johnson, but come on, let's be real.
I don't need him to be RB1. I don't like him that much.
right. So we need a very good complimentary running back in the 2024 season, in my opinion.
So here's the last one I got for you. And this is gonna be a doozy. The Saints are going to move their training camp so they can renovate their F-graded cafeteria.
Oh wow!
You know how the Players Association did those grades.
Yeah.
The Saints got an F for their cafeteria, so they're renovating. So they're renovating it, and they're moving their camp so they can renovate it.
Wasn't that a new stadium though? Didn't they just do that stadium not too long ago?
No, it's been a while.
I thought they like redid everything. How can I get an F? Like old school like soda machines in there, the pull out. They still got the cigarette machines in there. They haven't done anything at all in the cafeteria. It's 1970s cafeteria.
Right?
Oh
right?
Man.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know how you get an F. They got an F, so they're renovating it. I just thought that was funny when I saw that. So the Bills signed a few people this week, Tommy. We signed another defense. We signed two defensive tackles.
Yeah.
We signed Johnson as the one tech behind Daquan, who they played together in college and in the pros. And then we signed Williams, who
from Carolina, I believe.
He was really, I think he made his name in Denver. He started 3 years in Denver, then 1 year in Carolina. He started 44 games, but his path is so Sean McDermott.
Yeah. He's
You
the
know what
like
I mean?
UPS guy, right? A FedEx
Yeah.
guy or something.
Working in an Amazon warehouse or something like that.
That's right. Loading trucks. What the fuck?
For like till the pandemic hit, and then they signed him, and he clicked, and it's clicked for him since. He's made 44 starts over the last 4 years. I think that's good depth.
No, dude, that's great depth. That is your new Jordan Phillips, in my opinion.
Yeah,
like he's your energy. He's that guy who's going to bring energy. He's fun. Like players
Tuhill,
like him. Yeah, exactly. Like
Tuhill was the new Shaq Lawson.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it will be interesting. Now we have 4 guys on the defensive line as defensive tackles. That's all we carried last year.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 guys that have starting experience in this league.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it'd be interesting to see if because I always thought they were going to go defensive line and wide receiver right off the top. They may not do that now. They've plugged a bunch of those holes.
Absolutely. I still I still think we need an edge.
Well, we have 4 of those on the roster.
I know, but I'm talking about dynamic. I'm talking about we need if it's not this year, that's fine. No, I get that, but you never know what you find in the draft. You never know. But I'm saying if it's not this year, I think we do need to address that at some point. At least next drafts. Like we have to. I was thinking back the other day. When is the last dynamic? I don't know dynamic edge rusher. Mario Williams.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's been a long time, folks. I mean, I get Von Miller was supposed to be that guy.
He was that guy until he got hurt.
Right, but we're gonna be we're saying like dynamic, like long, like more than one season, right? Like Mario Williams was right. That was it. I guess you could kind of maybe he had, but I don't think he was as dynamic as Mario Williams. Mario Williams,
Mario's worth every bit of that contract until we got Rex Ryan and they tried to make him an outside linebacker.
Right? Yeah, they ruined it there. But so I think it's just. I like Gregory Rousseau. I just don't know. I don't know if he'll ever get
no faith.
I have faith in Vaughn. Listen, but we got it. I'm a realist. Like I hope if Vaughn can even give us half of what he did his first year, I'd be good with it. But I don't know. Nobody knows. I don't know. He's. But we have no choice but to hope for the best. Mm-hmm. But the reality is, we need a younger, dynamic edge rusher in here eventually if we really want to be that kind of team where we're aggressive, we're getting to the quarterback. AJ Epenesa's nice, but he's a rotation guy in my opinion. He's a depth guy. Like I like him filling in. I like him certain, but I don't think he'll ever be a 10+ multi-year sack guy.
I don't think we have Vaughn's the closest we have out on the roster for that.
That's what I'm saying. I thought Rousseau was on his way, but he's like
he starts off hot, he gets hurt, and then it goes down.
Big time. Yeah, that's why. Like I don't know anymore with him, and I really think he has the potential. He hasn't taken a big enough step for me yet, and I'm still waiting on it. And I don't know anymore. You know what I mean? That's where I worry with him. And then it's like Von Miller. This is probably his last year with us, and we're not going to get. You know what I mean? So we need one. We need one eventually. And I get what you're saying. It's probably not going to happen this year, but we need to eventually. figure that.
Unless you hit on a chop, and a chop actually becomes that guy. You say you draft Chop Robinson, at 28, and he actually lives up to his high ceiling. The thing about Chop is he has a really high ceiling, but a lower floor. Mm-hmm. What you have in like Braylon Trice out of Washington, love the guy. He has a higher floor, but he has a lower ceiling from what you can see. And granted, we don't know. Like no one expected Max Crosby to be the Max Crosby.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You never know. Yeah, I get that. Absolutely.
Yaya Adabi, was taken in like the 5th round, and he hit for Tampa Bay. So you have those guys. It's just you're hoping you hit them. You need to play the lotto to win.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think Vaughn's contract, and maybe it's just me, I don't think it's been bad. once he gave back money this year, I didn't think his contract was as bad as, it could have been.
Yeah, I thought that was.
But if he maxes out, I will pay him. I'll happily donate to pay Vaughn every bit of the money if they bring us a Lombardi. I just want one in my lifetime.
Yeah. No, I thought that was. He didn't have to do it. I thought that was. Like, I don't know. I just felt like he wasn't being selfish here. Like he's being a team guy. Yes, we paid him a lot, but he took a big pay cut. And he's saying, "Hey, I'll earn it." And that's. Listen, I think all of us can be cool with that. Like I'm cool with that. At this point, I don't think anybody could complain now going into this season about Von's contract because Von Miller, if he didn't get hurt that first year, would have been electric that year. And none of us, and let's just say he got hurt the following year, we would at least said, hey, he had that dynamic full season.
Yep.
But that wasn't the case, right? He got hurt right before the playoffs, and then, and then the following year, right, did nothing. So if he comes back this year and at least gives us close to what he did the first season and earns his contract, I don't think anyone will complain about that contract at the end of the day. Now, if he doesn't do shit, then yeah, it sucks.
Thank you for not stealing our money and
exactly. At least he did the right thing his third season, took that pay cut, and then we can move on and it is what it is. And I have a feeling too, if he doesn't do good this year, Mikey, I think he'll probably retire. Yeah. I believe so because
I have
not
I believe if he's saying he's feeling it again and he's willing to bet on himself. Sure. I have no reason not to,
My problem with Von, though, he says a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Like it's exciting, right? But I think at this point, Bills Mafia is like, okay, Von.
All right.
Sure, he's coming.
Whatever.
All right, Travis. Yeah, Travis Henry's coming. Oh, he's working out with you. Oh, okay. Odell's coming. Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Steve
Lynn nails Groot right here. He's been solid. He's not currently not that special playmaker that we're hoping he grows into.
Yeah, exactly.
At the same time, this is about the year that Ed Oliver started to show the signs of growing.
That is true.
I'm hoping you see that jump. And then Roy comes in and says, Bean said there's no reason not to pick up the 50-year option. Do you think it's smoke and mirrors? Do you believe? I think they're going to pick it up. Now, he might be Tremaine Edmonds. They may pick it up, play out the fifth year, and then watch him walk out the door. Right. Or they might pick it up, and say he'll pick it up, and then he has a great year. He's then becomes Ed Oliver, and they sign him to an extension the next offseason before his fifth year.
Right. I can see that too.
So it could be one or the other. You never know.
I believe in him. I do. I just don't know. I really believed in him at one point, but now I'm like, I'm on the fence right now with how high he can go. You know what I mean?
Sophia comes in and says, I'm all in for trading up in round 1 to get one of the top 3 edges. How high are you willing to go up? That's the question.
Yeah.
Knowing you don't have a third round, you're probably not getting, outside of 20. And then if you're going up any higher than that, you're giving up future picks.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if there's any one of the 3 this year that would be special enough that I'd want to give up any future picks.
I agree with that.
That's my take on it. I love Latu. Absolutely love Latu. Latu scares the hell out of me. He medically retired because of, I think, a neck injury.
Mm-hmm.
To give up future assets to go up and get a guy who had to medically retire, they must have had, they would have to have their doctors say there's no possible, risk of re-injure. But you medically retired in college due to it. Like, listen, if he was there at 28, take him. Exactly. But to give up future picks for him, you want to move up to 25 to get him and give up one of your 4s? Okay. Right. I'm okay with that.
I'm with you there. Yeah.
But I'm not going up any higher than that for any of these guys. I'm not giving up future picks for any of those guys because I don't know if there's a huge drop off between those three guys, and then a Chop Robinson.
Right.
Then you have Nealand, who is just an athletic freak, and nobody actually knows what he is because there's no freaking tape of him anywhere. Marshawn Nealand out of Western or Central. Was it Central Michigan? I think Central Michigan. So there's those type of guys too that are just athletic freaks, and you don't know what they're going to be. Well, Knox played it smart for him. He took a pay cut, but also gained more guaranteed money. Yeah, I loved what Knox did. Knox did bring down his cap, but he guaranteed he's going to be on this roster next year too. At a lower rate. So basically, they ripped up his contract and redid his contract. And he got less money, but he got more guaranteed, but less cap hit. Which smart, good for you. Get your money. At the end of the day, so here we go. Spen comes in and says, "Oh yeah, we getting Groot's 5th-year option. It's only worth 13.4. Yeah, it's only worth 13.4. The good thing is being cleaned up the cap for the next couple years. We're not going to be 40 million in the hole going into next year. We're going to have money. So he spent this offseason really cleaning up the cap, which was nice.
Yeah.
At least this time YouTube ad was for wine. Hey, the time you drink with Tommy and I,
My dog's going crazy.
Yeah, what's going on with your dog over there?
It's her birthday weekend, man. She's just celebrating early.
That's right. Tommy's giving her wine.
That's right. She turns 4 on Monday, man.
You getting her the Boone's Farm for the dog?
I got her a bunch of pig ears over at the store today.
Nice.
It's like crack, bro. It's like crack for her, man. I give her one every morning. She goes crazy, barking and.
Yes. Oh, I did. Scott, happy Easter to everybody. We should have said that to start the show.
Yeah, happy Easter weekend.
Also, we always forget to say, please hit the like button.
Yes.
We do appreciate it when you guys do that. It's the best thing you can do for the channel to help grow it and get it out to many other viewers.
Absolutely.
But the entire amount of the 5th-year option counts against the cap. Yes, it does. Now, that doesn't mean that 13.2 we signed, and then we signed him to extension this offseason. We can play with that cap number into his new deal and bring it down. And all it does is it's like having a franchise tag for your rookies. But 13.2 is a lot to give up, because if you think about it, that's what Chase Young just got.
Yeah.
Groot's better than Chase Young.
I think so right now. Yeah.
I would take that. But tonight, really what we're going to be doing on here is a 5-round mock draft to where we're going to kind of go through, see what falls on the board. We'll put it out to the chat, see what they're thinking. And then Tommy, so what I want you to do is when it comes down, I'll be Brandon Bean this week. You're going to be the personnel guys making cases for different guys. You know what I mean? As we talk through it of what we think we need to do. We'll have the chat be the rest of the personnel team, and we'll sit there and see what happens. How many picks do you think the Bills come out? I've said this. I don't see us using more than 8 picks. I can see us using 3 to move around. It wouldn't surprise me if we came out with 6 players and we used 5 of them to move up and down.
Right.
Honestly, but I'm thinking more than 8.
I'm thinking 6, 7. I mean, I don't even know about 8, man.
Roy says
we'll
9.
See.
Sophia thinks 8. Yeah, I'm with me and Sophia are on the same page. Let's see if you guys can beat Izzy's draft of 23 players. Yeah, I'm not trying to get 23 guys. We don't have room for 23 guys. Groot is worth 13.4. He's one of the best run defending DNs in the league. He just needs to I don't disagree with that. He's fantastic against the run.
Yeah.
I think one of the things you're looking for is more of a more sack production.
Correct.
I don't think it's all Groot's fault either, though. I think part of it is our interior defensive line disappears late in the playoffs.
Yeah, also too injuries. I think he hits the injury bug a lot. He gets that
lower body,
season.
ankle, knee.
Yeah, he always seems to be on the injury report, missing a couple games every season. So like, can we get a full complete season from Groot? That's like the next question, right? Like, and that's also another thing when you go to do a contract, especially for an edge where they get paid. You got to factor that in. Like, okay, how many games is this guy going to give us, right? Like moving forward, like at least Ed Oliver for the most part has been, pretty healthy. If he gets hurt, he doesn't miss much. Groot's like, man, every season since we drafted him, it's been a problem. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, no.
No, we ain't taking
listen. I wouldn't have a problem if they decided to draft, Jackson Power Johnson. He's the only center that I would draft in the first 2 rounds.
I still don't think that's. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen either. But if they did, I think that they're pretty. They've already decided that they're moving forward with McGovern as their center. They've already made that decision.
I still hope it's competition. I hope they just don't hand it to him.
Who did it? With I don't know. They're handing it to him.
I don't know, but I still would like. It doesn't. For me, it's like if
they did, they brought in Clapp.
That's fine. I'm just saying. I still don't want it to just be handed to him. Like I want that earn. You got to remember too. Like he doesn't have a lot of experience with Ja. Like I want to see how that goes, and that's what minicamp's about. That's what the OTAs are about. Obviously, like getting familiar with, and that right there, that center quarterback exchange. They have to get on the right page because it could be a disaster. We've seen centers come in and just be terrible for, what I mean, in the past. So, not saying it'll be terrible with him. I get that he has experience, but he's not Mitch Morse, right? Like he hasn't been with Josh. He hasn't been under center with Josh that long. Like, so I'm just saying, I'm with you. I think he'll be the guy starting week 1, but I at least wanted him to earn it. You get what I'm saying? Same with Edwards at guard. Like, I want him to earn that spot too, man. Just get your line right going into week 1. Like, I don't want a problem where we go into week 1, Mikey, and then in week 3, it's not working, and we're gonna play. Now we're back to playing this musical chair. Now we're gonna put McGovern back at. You know what I mean? At left at guard again. We're going to put this guy. That's what happened for a lot of seasons with us. Oh, our Cody Ford's not good here. We're going to shift him over here. And this guy's not good here. Shift him over here. It's like we kept doing this musical chairs over and over every season. Last year was the first year where we finally had a set core guys week 1 all the way through the end of the season. Now we're back at it again where Mitch Morse is gone. McGovern's here. David. Let's just hope that sticks. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Listen, I trust our offensive line coach.
I do too. I trust Cromer.
If he said, we can do this with McGovern, I'll trust that we can do it with McGovern.
I get it. I'm just saying I hope it works. Like I really do, because if it doesn't, it's a big problem.
Yep.
And you know that because that musical chair offensive line shit does not work too well.
Well, we're back to 2022 offensive line.
Yeah, it won't go. It won't look pretty.
See that shit. Trey Williams comes in and says Bush being pushed Josh's cap to 25, 60 million hit next year. No, it's in 26 is the 60 million hit, and I think next year's is 40 something. So he fixed Josh's cap for this year and next year when he did his thing. So really, and then in 26, Josh didn't get a new contract. So he'll never actually have that 60 million cap hit.
It'll just keep bumping. Yeah.
So they'll bring it down and then spread it out over his new contract.
And not only that, the cap by that time too will be so much higher, dude. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Like it only went down once.
This year it jumped 35 million. Next year will probably jump 20, 25 million.
Yeah,
and
dude.
With
all the contract, all the new stream services that they're just throwing around.
Gambling, the money that they get.
Service, streaming. Oh, dude, they're just the NFL is the best sport right now. It's the number one sport right now. Like it is the number one, and they're paying big bucks. And that's why the cap's going up, and it will continue to go up.
How much money do you think Spencer Brown is worth for an extension? I think he'll fall in the line of Jackson in Miami. He'll probably get 11, 12, 13 million a year if he has another year like he did last year.
Correct.
If Spencer Brown has, I don't think he's going to get that 15, 18 million like the top guys do, but I think he'll fall between 11 and 13 somewhere.
And I would hope for him, now who knows, everybody's there, but if he does have another good season, that he does stay in Buffalo for a reasonable price, because boy, we were very we worked with Spencer Brown very good in Buffalo. I thought we did. We drafted him.
I agree.
We took our time with him. We got it. You know what I mean? He came in raw. You know what I mean? Like, we built his. You know what I mean? Like, we built him up from, because let's be real. He was a project. He was a project player when we drafted him. We understood that, right? He had back injuries. First 2 seasons were rough, right? Aaron Kromer, we bring Kromer in, and Kromer has made him, at least so far, what we saw last year when he finally got his hands on Spencer Brown for the first time, a healthy Spencer Brown, looked like one of the better right tackles in the league. So we'll see. If he continues that, I feel like, not that he owes us, but I feel like he would want to stay in Buffalo because all that I said. You know what I mean? And I feel like he would come back with a reasonable.
I don't think he would take top money to get him back in Buffalo.
That's what I'm saying.
I think
he would. Yeah.
You know, I have a feeling that he would find a happy medium for both player and team.
Exactly.
Or even set up the contract a way that makes it easier for Bean to work the cap. You know, because I know that's what Bean does. It's not that he tries to, give guys back for super less. He finds a way to work the cap.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So I'm good with that. Roy comes in and says, I would love to get Christian Hayes in round 2, but I think it'll go too early. I would love to get Christian Hayes in round 2. If you can't get Christian Hayes in round 2, look for Cooper Beebe. I'm a big Cooper Beebe fan. Can play all 5 positions on the offensive line. Hayes is a plug and play left, guard. Cooper Beebe is a plug and play guard too, that could really kick out the tackle or play center if you needed him to. I would be okay with either one. I don't think Hayes is there at 60. I think he goes in the top half of the second round. But Beebe will be there probably, depends on how much he shoots up the board, but I could see him being there late third. So if we moved up from the 4th into the 3rd, I could see us going up and getting someone like him. I'm a big Cooper Beebe fan.
Yeah.
All right. So should we pop this on the board?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Only question on Brown is if he can stay healthy. He had another back surgery this offseason. Did he? I thought this was his first season. He didn't have to have...
I think what's his name said that Deion Dawkins, because they're all supposed to go on a cruise.
Okay, I didn't realize he had surgery.
Yeah, they had to cancel the cruise.
Surgery? Yikes!
They had to cancel. Yeah, they canceled the cruise because of that. But we don't know. It could have been surgery, but it could have been just them going in there and cleaning something up. Like, nobody knows it. It's not like Deion Dawkins like, oh, it's so very serious. We don't know you know what I mean? Like, it could have been anything minor just to go, hey, we're gonna clean this out, whatever. So I want to, look too past that, like too much behind.
This is Dawkins out of Brown. Dawkins outing a lot of people, talking about Josh's relationship and all kinds of shit.
I know.
By the way, can we hit on Josh Allen real quick? Did you see his mini interview on the QB room? Can we stop with? Okay, he just went on with Kyle Allen and Jordan Palmer, and they talked about how he was already working out this offseason with them. He just doesn't talk about it. So can we stop with the whole Josh Allen doesn't work out in the offseason conversation?
Yeah, I won't stop.
They just talked about it on the interview. He went out and said it. And actually, I don't even think he said it. I think Jordan Palmer said it. He said when we were working 2 weeks ago. So he is working out in the offseason. Josh just doesn't put it out on social media like that.
Yeah. Yep.
So. But yeah, Deion Dawkins out and everybody. And I'll tell you, he'll take anybody unless you played for the Jets. He wants no part of anybody on the Jets.
Yeah, man. Jeez. He really hates them.
Yes, he does. And I love it. I'm not going to lie. I absolutely love that he hates them so much. All right. So, Tom, what we're going to do here is we're going to go, I'm going to go round 1. I'm going to go pretty slow, and then after we make our round 1 selection, I will speed it up a little bit. and then we'll stop it throughout to see if we want to move up, move back, do that type of thing. We're gonna do 5 rounds. Josh is looking buff and healthy. Yeah. He said he's got a nutritionist working. Josh is doing all kinds of stuff. He now has a calendar and all kinds of things. But I believe his girlfriend's dad is a nutritionist. So it doesn't surprise me that Josh would now be getting into that.
Maybe he's taking a different approach this offseason. Because I know he said on the bus where he's just like, that was last offseason. I don't give a fuck. I eat whatever. But I'm just saying, maybe this offseason he's looking at things different. He's also understanding he ain't super young anymore. He's still younger than us. But as obviously, you got to start taking care of your body more so as you will get older.
Sped. Everyone sees Josh plays golf in the offseason, so I guess that's all he does. More on Logic 101.
I know, it's so funny. Oh, how God forbid he can't believe he's playing golf.
God forbid a guy who
he's enjoying himself,
beats up his body nonstop, rests in the offseason. Wow.
Man,
having a Hollywood girlfriend, she ain't letting him get too sloppy.
That is true too, right? Yeah, those are facts, man. Those are facts.
He's also ripping pants in Paris because he is wearing different type of clothes. Dion outed him there too.
Right.
So good for him. Be happy, buddy. That's all. That's all you can ask for.
Absolutely.
All right, so we'll go ahead and get started here. All right. So let's see what we got. With Caleb.
Oh, the mock draft, guys. Here we go. The official mock draft. First one.
Yep. So it went Caleb, Drake, McCarthy. Roma Dunes was the first one off the board on this one. Then Marvin Harrison.
Okay.
Neighbors, Alt, Turner, Bowers, Arnold, Newton. Wow, Mitchell, Guyton, Wiggins.
Damn, Mitchell. AD Mitchell went. Okay. All right. Damn.
No. Quinton Mitchell.
Oh, okay. I thought you said okay.
Quinton Mitchell. Okay. So we're at 21 with Miami, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we still have Brian Thomas Jr. on the board and AD Mitchell on the board. You still have Byron Murphy on the board.
Right.
From an edge, Latu went and Turner went. That means Jared Verse is still on the board.
Yeah, we're looking good so far. I'm not gonna lie. Right now, I'm not even looking to trade up at this point.
So Jared Verse just went. So here we're at 23 now. The 3 edge rushers are gone. Byron Murphy's still on the board. AD Mitchell and Thomas Jr.
So the teams remaining, you got Minnesota, you got Dallas, Green Bay, the Bucks, Cardinals, and us. See, I would take my gamble there and wait till 28. Because I don't know if those teams are out of those teams right now left. Who's gonna draft a receiver? Desperate,
Dallas.
That who really needs one? Dallas probably.
Dallas
get more help for
Tampa Bay.
Tampa to replace. Yeah, I can see Tampa getting.
We might have to go to 25 to get. We'll wait. We'll see what happens after Dallas and see if we have to move up to 25 because
I don't think Minnesota is. I think Minnesota's not. I think they're good there. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm staying pat, man.
Minnesota if I'm.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Wilson just went. That's actually really smart because they just lost one of their other linebackers. They need a linebacker.
Yep.
So that's actually a really good one. So two linebackers. So one of 3 guys is going to be on the board for us. Byron Murphy II, AD Mitchell, or Brian Thomas Jr. So you just said you staying at?
I'm staying pat. I think at this point, the way it's going, yeah, I think that I'm happy right now. If I'm Brandon Beane, I'm happy right now. The way it's going,
So let's see. Move to Minnesota's position. That'll be the opening day of the draft from the Vikings. All the picks the Vikings are collecting. Minnesota's actually, this is their second one. I don't think this will be a Minnesota pick here. I think Minnesota's going to package their 2 picks to go up and get a quarterback. All right, so let's see. We'll let it play out. Byron Murphy went, Mims went, Brian Thomas Jr. They went back-to-back receiver.
Wow.
In Arizona. They went O'Dunes and Brian Thomas Jr.
Wow. They're
Yikes.
loading up for they're helping out their quarterback there.
I doubt that's really what happens in real life.
I don't think so either.
You know? So
Right.
the people on the board is Jackson Powers Johnson.
Mm.
Everyone in here loves a center draft. JC Latham, who could play right tackle if we're going to move on from Spencer Brown. A.D. Mitchell, Ladd McConkey, or at this point, we have 6 options, and we can move back to 36 and possibly pick up a 3rd-round pick.
See, I'm taking A.D. Mitchell. Like, I'm already sold there. Like, I'm good with there. But you could ask the chat. But I think the one position we all, at least going into this draft, really, wanted the most was receiver. And I think him slipping to 28.
So we have 2 that says take the center.
Wow. See, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. I mean, I get it. There's nothing wrong with offensive lineman.
For Leggett.
I think A.D. Mitchell is a damn good receiver, man. I think that would be. I think we'd be kicking ourselves if he's there on the board. We pass him up, and he turns out to be one of the better receivers.
Do you think you think Mitchell is is head and shoulders above that next tier?
I think he's damn good.
Is he better than Keon? Is he better than Keon?
Oh, yeah.
Is he better than Troy?
He is. He is. He's better. He is. Absolutely he is. Now, mind you, though, if we don't wind up in real, obviously when the real draft hits and we pass up on him, he's there, and we do wind up getting like a Keon Cole, I wouldn't be mad at it, but I feel like I feel like A.D. Mitchell's not going to be there.
No,
second round.
No. I know, Steve.
He's a first round talent.
We're not taking A.D. Mitchell's way better than those guys. Okay.
Yeah.
So
he's a first round talent in my book.
You would take 80 here and not trade down.
Yeah, I would absolutely not trade down. I would take 80 right here. You got your guy. I think that guy has potential to be like a really good receiver in the NFL. And possibly take over Diggs' role once
in
Diggs
the future.
Once Diggs leaves Buffalo. So
we got 1 trade down 36 and get the 3rd. And the 3rd would have been, 78. If you move down to 36, then you have 36, 60, and 78. 78 puts you in a range for a safety.
True. I mean, once again, listen, you all know how I feel about Keon Coleman. I would love him here too in Buffalo. I'm just going by what's best on the board right now for this team.
If AD reaches his potential, he'll be top 3. Here's the thing. The best part about this is if we do draft AD, he doesn't have to come in and be a superstar year 1. We have other guys that we can bring along slowly.
Absolutely.
And he has the size, and the speed to be what we don't have.
Right.
Take Mitchell here. So, all right. We're not going to trade down. We're going to go ahead and take A.D. Mitchell here. Latham went. Chop went. Braswell went. McConkey to the Chiefs is just scary, dude. Would you look to move up in the 2nd for anybody for a position? So we're around 49. So in the 2nd, we saw that Chop went. We saw Braswell went. So Jonah Ellis went. Man, the edges are gone pretty much. Is there anybody else you would think about moving up for? As JPJ went, Morgan went, the tackles went, so you might as well just sit on the board and wait.
Right.
Take a punter. Yep. Sweat in the 2nd. I love Sweat. I really do. I just don't know. We were just talking about this, earlier. Tommy, where does he play? We already have 4 interior linemen who all have starting experience that I just can't see us doing that now.
Yeah,
when we signed Williams, I think it took it off the board. When we signed Johnson, it took Sweat off the board.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you there. You just
overload. Most of the safeties here. So here's what we have available now. So we have Pearsall. I can't even pronounce his name. Rook, the D tackle, Jalen Polk.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, if we passed on a wide receiver in round 1, Jalen Polk is high on my list for a round 2 wide receiver. The guy doesn't have the speed or the separations, but this guy catches everything. His hands are second to none.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he has elite hands. Leggett's here. Christian Haynes is here. We talked about Christian Haynes. I don't think he'll be here in real life. He's a plug and play guard. You know, Worthy's still here. Could you go back to back wide receivers? Get both the Texas boys?
I wouldn't go back to back receiver.
Could have gotten Newman. We're not taking a safety in round 1, Spin. There's no way we're taking a safety in round 1. Should have traded up to get Newman. Okay. I'm with you there. Rook is good. Need the line illustrations. Trey, I would agree, except we just signed both Johnson and Williams to be the rotation guys.
Mm-hmm.
We now have 4. We only carry 4 DLs on our 53. So spending a day 2 pick, a second round pick on a defensive lineman makes 0 sense when they won't get any playing time.
Right.
Unless they don't look at a guy who has 44 starts as a roster lock. Most of the Bills need to 1 or 2 years deals need to use. I agree. I just don't. That's why I didn't understand why they signed one. You know, I really didn't. I thought they would go get one in the draft. I don't think they're going to take a day 2 pick on a D lineman. I can see them taking a day 4 or day 3, round 4.
Mm-hmm.
You know, McKinley, Logan Lee, some of those guys, you know, that are out there. I can see us taking that type of, you know, Christian Boyd. He's gonna be mid-round guy. You know, that's gonna be a project. You know, I can see us doing more of those type of things. I'd rather have Leggett over any other receiver. Round 1 receivers, really? Leggett scares the hell out of me. I'm telling you, he's you know, you came out of nowhere after 4 years of nothing. And hit this year. That scares the hell out of me. I would take Leggett after Brian Thomas and A.D. Mitchell. I'm tired of Leggett and McConkey. You know, I'm actually a bigger fan of Polk than Leggett. Everyone loves McConkey. I think McConkey's great. I don't know if McConkey fits in the Bills' offense. He's so redundant to what we already have. So unless we don't care about that, and you know, Diggs is gonna be gone next year. Okay, then take the McConkey.
Right.
You know, Brandon Bean said DT values in round 2 to 4, and I think it's really in round 4 is where you get the real value. You know, of them. What safeties are available? Let's take a look. Let's see what's available at safety. Do you think they take a safety in round 2? We have Hicks, Kitchens, and Bullock all there. No trade down options. Leggett has size, speed, and he's instinctual. What makes you think he's instinctual? He had 1 year of production. You know, I just don't see it. I could be wrong. I've been wrong on many guys before. I just don't see it. He scares me. I don't know if I would take that risk. D-line has a lot of 1 year deals on 30-year-old players. Daquan needs, less snaps. I understand that, Trey. The problem is we already have 4 D linemen on our, interior D linemen on our roster that are going to play. So is this going to be the year that McDermott carries a 5th D line, a defensive tackle? I just don't see that. And if he does, he's going to be a game day inactive. How pissed is the Mafia going to be if we use a, round 2 pick on a defensive lineman who doesn't get any playing time? I just can't see that. When they signed Williams, it threw me for a loop. I thought for sure we were going to go wide receiver, defensive line the first 2 rounds.
Right.
Because we were going to inject youth, and we didn't. I think safety is a day 3 pick. Okay. If we grab McConkey, we'll abandon the traditional style of offense and go mix match. Yeah. I could see them doing that. Listen, it's going to be a Joe Brady offense. It's not going to be the offense that we're used to. They're going to change a lot of stuff. So who knows what they're going to be looking for. A lot of this is based off of what we've seen in the past. Maybe they don't want that 6'4" guy that, takes the top off. Maybe that's not what they're looking for. There isn't much mixing with Daboll. Yeah, Daboll had Davis. And Davis wasn't really a deep threat. So, okay. So let's look here. So what are you looking at here, Tommy, from your take?
Man.
Braylon Trice is still there. He's an edge. 6'4", 274.
Yeah, I like Trice. I do. What safeties are available right now?
Basically all of them except Newbin. Hicks, Kitchens, Bullock.
Kitchens is interesting. But we would be reaching a little bit, right? We could probably
you could probably grab a DTD or Cole Bishop or Mustafa.
I mean, if you really, you could also
all in the fourth round.
The thing is, Kitchens won't be there in the third round, right? That's that's the problem.
In the third, he'll be there probably.
You think
he probably lasts
early,
until right around 90.
Early third.
I think he lasts right around 90.
He could go late second. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he's a hell of a player, man. Yeah. The edge. Go back to the edge.
The edge.
Go back to the edge.
Let's go edge. Edges. We have Trice. We have Booker. We have Murphy. Booker did not look great in his, in his workouts. Murphy is a little bit more of a outside linebacker 3-4 type of, outside rush backer, but so is Von Miller. So he's 6'3", 260. I
think Trice is probably the best option there.
What does the chat think? Would you go
at that one? 60, I'm
at 60. Would you go Trice or would you go Kitchens?
Kitchens. Listen, Kitchens. Here's the problem. You're reaching a little bit because he is probably a late round second pick.
We are in the late
third round.
We're in the late second right now.
Well, we're basically there.
He's
right,
probably
right.
early. You know what I mean? He's probably mid third round range.
Early third. Yeah, early third, mid third, maybe. We could always trade back up. Well, we don't have a third round.
We don't
have a third round.
Trey comes in and says, "Go edge, hedge for Vaughn." I would go.
We don't have a third. We would have to trade up, Mikey.
We will. We'll look to move up.
So what we could do is we could take Trice and we could make a trade to get back up in the third and take Kitchen.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm good with Trice there,
right.
and then look to trade up, in the third, somewhere in the third.
Worthy, Jackson, there goes Javon Baker, Haynes went, Sweat went. So we'll start looking right around 80, 85.
Yeah.
And see. Quorum. So we'll go one more. Right after Miami's fourth pick. So, okay. So we're looking at Dallas now. Right? So just make sure he didn't go. Pearsall, Leggett, Sweat. Nope, didn't go. So all of them there. Bullock's there too. So let's see. For 87, we're jumping a lot because we're jumping like 40 picks. Like even if we went the first
that's
3,
a hell of a I mean, we could gamble still and think
we would probably have to give up a third next year to go up to get him. Would you give up a third next year to go up and get him?
I would, because I think he's a hell of a player. But you know me. I'm
Roy, you can't click on safeties. It doesn't let you see the board. I just looked though, and he's still on the board. I just looked to make sure.
I'm a Hurricanes guy, so I'm.
So let me ask the chat.
You can't.
Would you give up a third round pick next year to move up to get the safety? I'd be interested to know what the chat thinks. if they'd be willing to give up a future pick to go up.
I just know. Here's the problem. I think he's one of the best safeties coming out in this draft. I think he could be a really good safety in the NFL. And I don't know how much. I don't know what Taylor Rapp's going to really be as a starter.
What about Mike Edwards? We don't know what Mike Edwards is going to be either.
Edwards is a 1-year guy. Once again, he could, even if he has a good season, he could turn out to be like Floyd, where, you know what I mean? Now he's getting paid and leaving, right? He's a loner. So I'm just saying he's a 1-year loner in a way. Like for me, that's how I see Edwards right now. And Rapp right now, we don't know. So I don't know. To me, I think Kitchens is a really good player. I think he could be really good in the NFL. So I would take that rather than miss on him. But that's who knows? I don't know.
Do you think Bean?
Daniel's saying hell no. You think that's a lot? That's a lot of spots to move up. He would have to be. I'll tell you what. He'd have to be really sold on him. Like it's
because even if fourth next year doesn't do it.
Yeah, their meeting would have been great, right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little bit longer.
Maybe go a little bit. Yeah, let's maybe he's sold on him, but not that sold on him. Let's move it up.
Kitchens went to 87. Kitchens went 87.
See? There you go. I told you. You won't gonna last that long. Come on, guys.
I think right around 100 is where you start looking at possibly moving up. All right, so now we're in the 4th. So now we're going from 28 to 101 because there is Bullock still on the board. He says no trading up for a safety. Take Mustafa in the 4th. I'm not against that.
Yeah,
and I love Spence. Trade next year's first and get some extra thirds. This is a mock. There is no next year.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be a little bit more realistic than that. I love Mustafa. He had a great workout too. Like his pro day, he killed his pro day. That's why you trade up like 5 picks in the second and grab the top 2 safeties in the draft. I could see Bean moving up in the second to get one of the safeties that he wants, if that's what he's going to do. That's the thing. He's filled all these positions with guys who could be starters this year. So we have no idea what he's going to do. He's probably
Where's Trey, by the way? Trey Benson.
He's still on the board.
Still on the board? Just curious where he's at. Okay.
Yeah, he's still on the board. Nope, he went up 84. Never mind, he's
off the board. Damn.
Yep. Right. He went 84.
There goes my guy. Our running back. Right. I was hoping to get maybe in the 4th.
Right. I'm not trading up for a safety. We're just going to let it roll.
Yeah, no, at this point. I think my guy's gone.
Calvin Bullock was the guy that I was looking at. I love him. He's more of a center fielder. 6'3", 210. Got crazy good range.
Exactly, Spin. That's what Edwards is a 1-year rental. You got to eventually fill that spot. And I guess it's going to be next year if we don't get our guy this year.
I have a feeling man, Dwayne Carter, this guy is interesting. Super interesting. People either love him or hate him.
Mm-hmm.
I could see this being an area where they grab a developmental D tackle in the 4th.
Yep.
Ray Davis on the board. Ray Davis is a 5'10", 216.
Yeah.
Gives you a little bit of size. Leonard Taylor the 3rd on the board. Cooper Beebe. We talked about Cooper Beebe earlier, right? That guard that can play, can play any of the line. 6'4", 335.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't mind. Yeah, see, like right now is where you want to probably start filling in some offensive linemen. We haven't touched any. We haven't drafted anything, have we? I don't think we've gotten one offensive lineman yet, correct? So I would definitely be right here cool with that pick, in my opinion. Like you can never have enough, right? So like I would be good with that pick there, but that's me.
Is Carter a 3 tech? Let's see. Where did he play? He played the B gap. So yeah. He's 6'3", 305. So he's more in the 3 tech mold.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is where I would take Cooper Beebe. A guy who would come in and instantly probably push Edwards for a starting job. He reminds me so much of Torrance, except he has more flexibility across the board.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna let's see. We need a 3 tech this year, and a 1 tech would be fine. I don't disagree with you. I'm gonna go Cooper Beebe here, as I think we have a better shot at guard at this point making the roster than a defensive lineman at this point making the roster. As much as I do love Carter, but I'm also a big fan of Christian Boyd, who's a 3 tech, and Logan Lee, who's a 3 tech. There's one guard and then 3 defensive linemen that I would take. All right, so Spen said he's good with BB as well. McKinley Jackson, who's super interesting. Taylor, who's super interesting. Taylor's one of those guys that's like Groot, super high upside, really low floor. You're not sure what you're going to get out of him.
Right.
All right, so I took Cooper Beebe at 28. So then it went Murphy, Tom, and look at that. Carter's still sitting there. We're going to take
there
Carter
you go.
at this point.
Yeah. Yep.
So now we got the 2 interior guys. All right. So at 44 now we're looking for a safety, correct?
Yeah.
So let's go and look at a safety. Look at that. Look who's still on the board.
There he is.
Still on the board.
I also like
5'11", 207.
Hurricane guy, but Mikey thinks he's going to
fan
linebacker.
of Williams too. I'm a fan of Simpson as well. Simpson's a little bit smaller, but man, he's crazy fast and has range as a center fielder.
Yeah.
You know what? They're testing him.
Size, man. He's
Williams,
so beastly.
they're testing him as a safety right now. Like yeah. Like everyone assumes he's going to become a linebacker, but
I know you were saying
all the pre-job stuff as a safety.
I'm telling you, he was damn good last year with the Canes, man. Like him and Kitchens were really solid.
I'm going Mustafa.
I just love his size, man. I think he's going to be a pretty good safety in the NFL. We'll see that.
Let's see. So I believe this is our last pick for. Oh, looks like we have another one. We have 163 too. So here you have King, you have Keegan, King, Austin, Tyler Davis. We just picked the safety. We need a running back and cornerback.
We definitely do.
Tej Washington on the board too. He's a return man. We don't have a returner.
No, not right now.
Be great late round guy and a return guy. That'd be someone that this would be a good spot for. Williams still on the board.
You know what? I gotta say, I know we're not gonna do it, but Milton, the quarterback,
Joe Milton.
I would definitely draft him late. Like if he's available, just to have him. I think he would be perfect future backup. You know what I mean? Like great to have. Like the side, he has a good arm, bro. Like that dude could sling it, man. I don't know. He's interesting.
McGovern is a unique guy, late round guy, who has both corner safety flex, 6'2", 188. He played both corner and free safety in college. He would be an interesting pick here as well. I believe this is our last pick, so this is the last one we get to choose. So we grabbed Mustafa. Mustafa is he a free or a strong? He played in the box, so he's more of a strong safety than a free safety. And I think Williams is the same way. Jalen Simpson is more of a free safety. He played a lot of deep, 299 deep. So if you're looking for a deep safety, this would be the guy. But we also have Hamlin and Cam Lewis that are coming back. So I don't think we're going to take a bunch of safeties because they both seem to love them. So here's what so let's look at a second wide receiver, right? What else we have out there? So you have Luke McCaffrey.
There's McCaffrey. Yeah, he's an interesting player.
He's a quarterback turned wide receiver. And I don't know if I like him because of his name or because of his game.
I think you like a little bit of both.
Washington is sneaky here because he has the return and special teams, ability. So I'd be interested to know what's your thoughts.
We haven't taken a running back, correct? And this is our last pick. I'm just throwing that out there, right? Yeah. No running. Okay,
so let's see what running backs are available.
Like that's like if we don't get a running back this draft, like hypothetical, I'm just saying in the draft, which I don't believe. I believe we will draft a running back, but if we didn't, I wouldn't hate it. But they would. I still think they need to go out and get a running back, like Ezekiel Elliott. Like fine, 1 year deal. Like I'd be good with that. I'd be cool with that for 1 more year. Then we have to. That's another position I think in 2025 that we need to address. Kind of like the edge. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna need to.
I think if we take a running back, we're gonna take him late, like 6th, 7th round.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't know if he's gonna be that guy to like even make the team or maybe he'll special team. Like we need eventually a running back that is a good solid 1-2 punch. Like that could be a starter on maybe another team that needs a runner. You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm looking. I don't know if you're going to get that in the 6th round, but you never know. You never know.
I mean, you have some other guys that are out there still, you have Frank Gore Jr., who the Bills seem to be in love with,
Right.
The rest of the guys are kind of small, I don't know about this guy. He's 5'10", 208. So nothing I would take this early.
I agree.
And Roy, Hamlin and Lewis don't count to you, but they count to Bean and McDermott. They love those guys. They just paid Lewis to come back. So Mafia, they don't want him.
I think Hamlin's on the bubble, man. Again, I think he'll wind up being on the bubble. In my opinion,
Bean just talked about him. Talk about how they have a role for him.
Yes, we'll see, man. I just don't want it to be the case where we're just keeping him on the team because we're keeping him on the team.
You have Cook.
You know where I'm going with that. So.
We don't need a running back to play wide receiver. We need a running back that's power back. Yeah, I'm with you.
Absolutely.
I do like Tracy. He just transitioned from wide receiver to running back last year for Purdue. He actually has really good feel with the ball in his hands, not as a wide receiver, but as a running back. The problem is he's kind of one of those hot guys that's shooting up the boards right now. I have a feeling he's gonna be gone in late 3rd, early 4th.
Yeah, we need a listen. I've been saying it for years now. Bills have not had a bigger running back forever. It's been a long time, man, and we keep drafting these undersized running backs, man. Like they gotta eventually get a bigger back in Buffalo. It's just not like I can't take another year with two small backs, bro. Now Ty John's a little bit bigger, obviously, than Cook, but my God, he's still not like power running back. Like we need that, man.
So let me ask the chat: would you take McGlovern, who's the corner safety, duo, or would you take one of the receivers, Washington or McCaffrey? I have 2 left. No, I do have 2 left. I have 60 and 63. Oh, we could take them both.
I would like you made a good point about kick returner. I would take a speedy
Washington
receiver if that's Washington. I'd draft him.
Yep.
And there's your guy at kick return, because I'm gonna tell you right now with the new rule. By the way, the new rule is not. I think it's only 5 yards more on the kick, so it's not so bad. So I think there will be more returns this year, and I think getting a guy back there that's a good return man is going to be important. So speed. Yeah, I'm good with speed there. Yep.
All right. So we just completed our first mock draft, Tommy.
Yeah. What was our grade? Let's see our grade. Let's see our PFF grade.
Probably not great. I drafted guys that I wanted, not what PFF liked. Like they hated the Braylon Trice pick. Right. They hated the Mustafa pick too.
Yeah. They're like Mustafa. Boo.
The rest of them they liked. So we went with Mitchell.
They love Mitchell.
Trice,
Yep.
BB. So we went starter at wide receiver, rotational D end, possible starter at guard, rotational interior D line, safety, young safety, kick returner and special teams guy, and backup corner safety.
There you go.
You know, that means you gotta hope they keep 6 wide receivers this season by drafting 2 of them, right? Well, let's think about it. They have, well, yeah, but they could if they're gonna have one of them be the returner. They could keep 6. They don't normally. They normally only have 5. You know, but I, just drafted here to get an actual return guy because right now, who's our returner? Shakir.
Yeah, I'm not good. Shakir has speed though.
And
I do trust. I do trust Shakir, though. I do. I just don't think he's that. He's not dynamic returner. You know what I mean? He's safe. He's a safe returner. Like I wouldn't hate it if he's the guy next year. Like you know what I mean? We couldn't find the right guy, and he's the safe bet. But I don't think he's going to make any kind of splash play on special teams.
If we didn't take Washington, we could have taken Pritchett out of Auburn, the corner, because he brings special teams return ability.
Yeah.
AD Mitchell brings return ability. I just don't think they're going to put their first round pick out there to return. I just don't see that happening.
I know even Curtis Samuel we used to return, but he ain't going to do that now. You know what I mean? He's too far in his career to do
that. Who you're missing in here is I think it's going to be Diggs, Shakir, Samuel, AD, Taj, and then Hollins. Because Mac Hollins is gonna make the team.
Oh, that's right, Hollins. Yeah, he won't. He'll make the team.
So Hollins would be the 6th.
Yeah.
So maybe they don't take Taj, but my thing is they just don't have a returner.
Yeah, you're right. They'd have to figure that part out.
So they'd have to keep 6, or draft a corner who also is a returner.
That's true. You don't need a receiver. A receiver doesn't necessarily need to be.
Or a running back who can be a returner.
Right, or running, or a corner. I mean, we used to have corners return. We had our best one. Well, not only him, the one. God, I can't believe I'm having a brain fire. What was his name? Terrence McGee. Yeah. Oh, dude, he was dynamic.
He was a returner that turned into a corner.
Loved him. Roscoe was a receiver. He was really good at returning. You know what I mean? But I think our best, though, you're right, it's probably been our corners.
Okay,
fine.
Hollins definitely makes rosters. Yeah, he's such a good special teams guy. You
never know in Shorter. I'm still crossing my fingers that he earns a spot.
Loving some Shorter.
You never know, man. Listen, man, he'll have now he has a whole off season, healthy going into camp, but we'll see.
You know what? I'm kind of with spin on this. If we took AD, I think Shorter's chances for any type of offensive play is gone because I think right now that's his role. He's the big guy that runs.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah.
Terrence McGee was awesome, man.
Dude, he was.
Maybe Trubisky can return kicks. Oh, that's great. So this is our first one, Tommy. I will snapshot this and send it over to you so you can put it out.
All right, cool.
With them off.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah.
Our first one's in the books.
Hey, that was fun, man. I had a good time with that. I'm telling you, man, when you go through those mock drafts, it never goes as planned now, for the most part. Like you got your guys, but you never.
I never take Trice. If it was me doing it, I probably would have traded down out of round 1. I don't think I would have taken AD Mitchell. I would have tried to get that 3rd rounder and then taken one of those next guys.
I just think, man,
but
God,
yeah,
we got so many picks to trade down. I don't. I really hope we don't do that. If anything, I think we'll trade up in the first round. You know what I mean? If we get out of the first round, I think. I don't know, man. I think that'd be a mistake, man.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to trade down either. We've never traded down. Beenan's never traded down in the first round.
I think you're right. No, he's never. You're right.
He's traded down in the second.
But in
the first. He only traded
never in the first. Yeah.
Unless the board fell to where there was none of them there. You know what I mean? That's the only way I could see. But even then, Chop was on the board. We could have taken Chop Robinson in the first.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
You know, and then looked at moving up in the second.
Yeah.
You know, so it'll be interesting. Use a different simulator next time, and maybe they'll show you who's available as you go. Yeah, we will, Roy. Next time we'll use a different one. Every time we do this. And are we doing this every week until draft?
Yeah. Well, it's fine. I mean, I don't know. It depends on the news, right? It depends how the week's going, who we're gonna have on. If we're gonna have guests on or something, which is rare, but then we won't. You know, but yeah, if there's really not much going on, then yeah, we'll do it. We'll do a quick draft. You know.
Do they show it? He says they show it. I'll have to figure out how to do that. Spin, if they show who's on the board.
Yeah, we'll mess with it some more. First go around, you all know how it goes.
Bean is traded up in every first round except the year he took Ed Oliver. Yeah. Makes you sad, doesn't it? Knowing that he traded up for Kyrie Elam.
Actually, we're wrong. We're wrong on one thing.
What?
Just thought of it. I don't know why I didn't think of it. The only time he got out of the first round was for Stephon Diggs.
Yeah. But he didn't.
I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out. I know. No, he didn't trade down. I'm just saying. I gave away the round. You get what I'm saying. Like I get what you're saying, but we gave away round one for a trade. Is what I'm saying. So
listen,
in a sense, he kind of traded
Dallas
away.
If Bean traded up to get one of the top 3 receivers, I would do backflips.
Absolutely.
And
I would be all for it. I don't think anyone have a problem with it.
I just don't think he's going to do that. But
he'd have to be in love with that player. Like he'd have to be really sold on that player. Like their meetings would have had to been, when they have those meetings with the players, would have had to been great. Like they had this, man, we have to get this guy. Kind of, you know what I mean? No matter what cost. If he's available, like if he slides here, we will, no matter what, at all costs, try to get this guy at that certain point. Like maybe, I mean, man, it'd have to be a hell of a boy,
Trey's right here. The only argument for trading down is they think 24 is just such a great class and they don't like really what 25 is looking like. So they're going to trade down, accumulate more top 100 picks to get as many as they can this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's what or if the board just does not favor us. But I can't see us not having somebody that Bean likes there at 28. Or
I agree.
25, 24 to 28 that he can't just move up. You use 1 and 2 of his set, 4th or 5th round picks to move up to get.
Right.
Because I think we went from what 27 to 25 last year and gave up a 4th.
It was only a couple picks. Yeah.
And we gave up a 4th. We have 2 4ths. I can see us, going up a couple picks to get the guy that he wants,
Yeah, sure. I mean, we have enough picks where he can, I think this draft, he can, roll the dice. It's not going to really kill us on the, we have so many picks, you know what I mean? Like, I think he did that on purpose last year. I feel for this draft to have more negotiations to work, more arsenal to work with, and a potential trade. Yeah. To move up or whatever, or a potential trade for a player during the draft.
Yeah. They have
nobody talks about that, but they have that in their. It
happens every year. Last year it was the Swift. The year before that it was AJ Brown. Always a player getting moved during the draft.
Always. Remember when AJ Brown went?
Yeah, 2 years ago. And then last year, remember they took the Lions took Gibbs in the first, and then they traded Swift for a 3rd.
How smart was that? It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
smart.
There's
going to be teams that are looking to move on for players, man. You never know, man. You never know. I just feel like, man, why would you stockpile that many picks knowing you can't draft that many players? Like, there's just not enough room. Like, there has to be a strategy behind this, and it has to be either trading up, and getting rid of those, or potentially trading away some picks for a player or 2 to come to Buffalo. We'll see. It's going to, man, it's an interesting draft. By the way, I got my tickets. I think I did tell you.
You did. Yeah, you did tell me that.
I got my tickets to the draft, baby.
For night 1.
I'll be there. Night 1. Yeah, I'm not going night 2, night 3.
But
I'm already having to go all the way
we'll
down.
be on night 2, right? I mean, you'll be on night 2.
Oh, yeah, we'll be on night 1 and night 2.
Yeah. Well, Howie and I will be on night 1 with you popping in randomly.
Yeah, I'll pop in. I'll pop in probably in the beginning as much as I can. You know what I mean? And then obviously you guys, whatever,
you gotta enjoy the draft, brother. That's a once in a lifetime type of thing, dude.
Absolutely.
Go enjoy that draft. You know, Bean's plans may have changed when he didn't get the 3rd round. Yeah, Beans looked very irritated when he talked about not getting the 3rd round pick. I think it's the reason why he gave up the 3rd round for can't think of his name now. The corner that we got from Green Bay.
Oh, Douglas,
thank you. Like because we got back at 5th. So my guess is they wanted a 4th for him, and we offered a 3rd because we were getting a 3rd, and we got a 5th back. Is my guess, and then we didn't get the 3rd.
The NFL hosed us, by the way. You know that, right?
Yeah.
They totally fucked us. Like, that was bullshit. Like, Brandon Bean was like, "That's fucking bullshit."
Yeah. Call it.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
Listen, don't sleep on Kansas City jumping Buffalo. They've done it before. Bean's got to be on the ball to go up and get the guy that he wants if he thinks it's there.
Absolutely.
I think Casey takes McConkey's if he's there. Because they have Hollywood Brown now, so they don't need Worthy. That's the speed that they were looking for. McConkey is just a route running separation type of, like, him and Patrick Mahomes together is makes me want to throw up thinking about that. Chiefs trade with the Cardinals, I bet. Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me, to get up in front of us to grab, AD or Brian Thomas. That's assuming that that's who they're going to go with.
Yeah.
They're going to be looking at wide receiver round 1. Somehow the Bengals 6 turned into a third. Yeah. I don't understand it.
Yeah, we got hosed. Like, there's no other way around it. Like, the NFL, and they knew they made mistakes with other teams, corrected them, and didn't correct ours. They still hosed us. So I don't get it. I really don't get that. Like, that makes no sense. So I don't know. We got the raw deal. We got the raw end of the deal there. Maybe they looked at us and said, "Man, you got enough fucking picks." I don't know.
Shut up. Sit down and shut up. Right. Weston comes in and says the Chiefs will be looking to go offensive tackle or corner, which makes sense because they just lost Snead. And if they're going to try to get, they have Juan Morris who looked good last year, so they need offensive tackle depth and a possible replacement for Taylor if they decide to get out of that deal after the end of the year. They have their interior taken care of. It's their 2 bookends that have been suspect to this point.
Right.
Have been their weaker link. I shouldn't say suspect. They've been their weaker links to this point.
Mm-hmm.
Because how do you say they're suspect when they just won the Super Bowl? You don't.
Right. I can't. You can never. I don't care how shitty they're playing during the regular season. Like, I'm still not gonna. I think. Is it safe to say, all right, everyone has learned their lesson on counting out the Chiefs way too early? Their offense stinks. They fucking won a Super Bowl. That's 3.
Weston, do you want Donovan Smith back? Like, he looked bad at times last year. I thought Morris looked better. I think, at the price that Smith is commanding, is he worth being re-signed? Is he traded up in front of the Bills? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Casey traded up and then took a tackle.
Yeah.
Because when you look at, like, the first round guys that went, some of the tackles that were late, J.C. Latham, he's more of a right. Mims at 26. Like, to get the left tackles, they're going to have to go up a way higher, and I don't see that happening. But, Guyton, at 18. Like, some corners, late corners, who went, like, a lot of the corners went in round 2. So there wasn't a ton of corners that went in round 1. A lot of tackles. Let's see how many tackles went. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tackles went in the first round. Yikes. Maybe if he takes a 1 year for 3 to 5 or something like that. It was just Juwan was the problem with his false starts. Smith would either lock the dude down or just whiff.
Right.
You know, Smith had the same problem in Tampa Bay the year before that with Tom, and he like fell off a cliff. Then he got hurt in like middle of the year, and Warren Morris came in, and I thought Morris actually looked pretty good for you guys. But that's just me. All right, Tommy, what's on tap for the rest of this week going into next? Anything?
Nah, nothing. Tuesday, same old, man. Tuesday wrestling Nuclear Heat Wave at 7:30. They're gearing up for WrestleMania, which is next weekend. So I'm pretty sure they'll be going live to talk about WrestleMania. Which is I'll be watching that at my buddy's house as well. And then Wednesday, I believe Mafia Talk will be back at 10. And then me and Mikey will be back Friday.
Yeah, buddy.
9 o'clock. So new hours, obviously, you guys know now, 9 o'clock. Other than that, that's it. I'm still trying to get a day or a night down where I can get Curtis and everybody together to kind of have this off-season talk and kind of get their perspective of like what they thought we did.
And that's for the shakedown, right? The AFC shakedown?
No.
Oh.
That's just here. Yeah, no.
Okay, we're going to do that here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to do that here. So, but I'll have to set that date up. So anyways, other than that, that's it, man.
So will Cody finish the story, Tommy?
I can't stand the Cody crybabies, by the way. Like, I'm Team Rock all the way.
Of course. You're the Attitude Era NWO.
I prefer heels.
Austin,
yeah, like
that's
I just never liked it. Cody, I'll give him credit. Like, he's a good writer. He can talk. I hate that like mushy crap. I just don't like it. Crying. Get out of here. So, but I think WWE is going to please its fans, and I think they're going to give him the belt. I think
Rock's going to turn on Roman.
It's tough because there's a tag team match first on day 1, and then day 2 is the title match. I think so. If he does turn on, then what does that mean? Day 2?
I think something happens in that match to where.
And then day 2 where he's pissed off.
Yep.
Yeah, that's possible.
I think Rock and Roman get win on night 1, and then
Why
night
somehow
2
something happens, right?
Yep. And then night 2, like Roman steals the pin or something like that.
Right.
You know,
one up some.
But anyway,
right, or something like that.
We're going on rabbit hole with wrestling. It's all scripted. Yeah.
Hey man, Roy ass. All right.
Yeah. So all right.
What do you mean it's scripted? It's real. All right, guys. So anyways, Bills Mafia, we love you. And as always, go Bills. We're out of here. Peace.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
And look at him go. He could go. Oh, okay.